Good afternoon. We're going to go over the watch list for March 16th, 2020. Before I get into the watch list, I just want to say that, we had a very, very good week last week. I almost had a perfect week. I had 17 trades, 16 of them were winners, one loss, and my only loss was the last trade of the week, which was Friday, at the end of the day. So that was a little disappointing, but whatever. It is what it is. If you're not in the room, you're not a subscriber, then you're just missing out. I don't know what to say. But anyways, you should get in the room, be a sub, and catch the plays this week. So I'm expecting this week to be a lot like last week and the week before. You can throw your fundamentals, you can throw your technical analysis, you can throw it right out the window. It's all going to be driven by news and the coronavirus. And I expect this week to be a lot like last week, where there's going to be a ton of setups, but it's going to be hard to play certain tickers because the spreads are going to be so bad, or the prices are going to be so high you have to go way too far out of the money to make it even worth your while. So it is what it is, and you just have to learn to adapt and adjust based on the circumstances. And with that said, based on how it's been last week and the week before, I've plucked some tickers out that the spreads are nasty, and you have to go out far out of the money, but they're not as bad as others. So one of them obviously is going to be SPY. I'll be paying attention to SPY on the expiration days, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But we'll bring up SPY first since we're talking about right now. Now I got the hourly on the left, I got the weekly in the middle, and the monthly on the right, and the daily is just so oversold on so many tickers that it's hard to even see that. So we're gonna just look at the weekly and the monthly and stuff like that. And I know that Donald Trump tested negative for coronavirus, but if you think that the White House is going to tell you the truth, he hasn't. No, you're a fool. So the government lies, and everyone around him is affected. So he sounded like shit on Friday. So he could have it, he could not. It doesn't matter. You can't expect the government to tell you the truth. So I would take anything they say with a grain of salt. If he does have it, or he ends up getting it, I think you're going to see SPY down to 200. And I know that we have panic now, but I mean the panic is really not that bad yet. We could see really mass panicking once cities go in lockdown, if that ever happens, or a very big famous person ends up having or dying, or something like that. So something catastrophic could happen, and if it does, then you're going to see SPY at 200, and you're going to see VIX over 100. So that is the thing that could happen. You're going to be aware of that, and the game plan is to keep doing what we've been doing the last 2 weeks, short the pops, because nothing's changed. It's all about vaccines and containment, and right now it's not contained and there's no vaccine. So until then, it's just going to keep going down. So it means SPY can go down right now, could get down to 250 again, it could go to 225, and if there's a really bad panic, it's going to 200. So BABA is another one that we've been trading that spreads have been decent. BABA has been holding up pretty well for the weekly right here on the RC trend line. So, but it gets below that. I mean, it's got room down to the 140s. So I know these are pretty wild predictions, but I've been pretty dead on most of them. So just keep shorting the pops, and Baidu is another one that's been getting clobbered, right here. I mean, it gets under this 93, 95 area. I mean, it's go down to 84 to even like 75 is a big psychological number that's next. So Baidu, I mean, it could still go down. Apple closed its stores, and so did Nike. So I'm expecting Apple to take a major dump tomorrow. But Apple is just one of those stupid stocks that when Wuhan went into lockdown, and the fifth of Apple's revenue was lost and their production was pretty much gone, it still managed to go up. And just Apple's just stupid like that. I can't stand that it was going against the odds. And now that they're closing all the stores outside of China, that I would be a bit surprised if we see Apple under $200 this week. So I know that's pretty far, being from 277 to 200, but it's quite possible. And definitely seen it at least go to under 230 this week. So 230 would be the first target, and then 200 would be the next one on Apple. If things continue to get worse and they're closing the stores like Nike, I haven't looked at the option chain, so I have no idea how bad the spreads are. I'm just picking the stocks I've traded the past couple weeks, and the spreads have been somewhat decent. Facebook, Facebook gets under 170 or even 160, that it's going to go down into the 140s. So watch out for Facebook. It's got room down to the 140s, even down to the 130s, like it did back here in December 10th during the Christmas massacre. So QCOM is one I've been trading, except I'm a little butthurt. I got my only loss on it last week. But QCOM, it gets below the 69 area, it's going to go to 60, and it keeps getting worse and go to 50. So QCOM is another one I'd be watching. We already covered SPY. Now, for some unknown reason, we get like a turnaround, and we get something bullish happens or anything like that, I definitely like ROKU for a reversal if it does happen this week. I think ROKU could come back up here and retest the 120 areas if something happens with anything positive to do with containment or vaccine. Yeah, the Fed could come out and could do another rate cut. And if they do another rate cut, yeah, there'll be a dead cat bounce, but it'll be short-lived, and it'll give us another short opportunity. Anything the Fed does, any tariff rollbacks that they do, it's going to be just temporary relief. The real problem's the coronavirus, not the tariffs, not the Fed. It's the outbreak of the coronavirus, and there's no vaccines, and it's not contained. That is the real issue. And anything that the Fed does or Washington does is going to be temporary relief and just short the pops. But if a vaccine does come out, or if a containment is contained, ROKU is one that I would love to get in first, and BA is the other one, Boeing. And Boeing has just been taking a massive hit. I can't believe it's went down to the, what was this low, 150, 149, 154.81. I mean, I think that, it can get down to the 120s. It might even get down to 100 if it gets really, really bad, as far as, like, if, because all the airlines are losing massive amounts of money unless Washington does a bailout for the airlines. And if that does happen, I mean, airline stocks will pop, and BA will pop, and it will probably end up being just temporary relief again. I'm not sure how much of an effect that will have, but I'm assuming it's going to be just a big pop and probably a sell-off again. Doesn't matter. We'll see what happens when it happens. We'll just be prepared for several things to happen this week. The Fed making a rate cut, bailouts, any kind of temporary relief that the government could pump. I mean, just have to be aware of that, and keep an eye out for news and see what happens. So that's going to be the game plan for the week. Same as been the last couple weeks. Focus on stocks that have a fairly decent spread, that are priced fairly decent, and short the pops until it's changed. And as of right now, nothing has changed. So that will be the game plan. So thanks for watching the video, and hopefully you'll be in the room making money with us. And if you're not, I don't know what to tell you. See ya.